The movie begins with Hardin narrating his story with Tessa, how deeply they loved each other and how everything fell apart after he betrayed her. Despite everything, she couldn't forgive him. We then see Hardin sitting in his car, checking his phone as he looks at a message he sent to Tessa. In it, he tells her that they've been apart for a month, yet she still refuses to reply or even meet him, but he hasn't gotten any response from her. Then the scene shifts to Tessa, who's in a taxi on her way to work. It's her first day at the publishing company she had applied to. When she arrives, she rushes to catch the elevator, but someone inside closes it quickly before she can get in. Frustrated because she's running late, she mutters under her breath. Suddenly, the elevator opens again, and she steps inside. The guy asks if she had just insulted him, but she denies it, saying she was talking to herself, though it's clear he heard her. When the elevator reaches the floor, she discovers that he works there too, and his name is Trevor. She meets Kimberly, the manager's assistant, who tries to introduce her to him, but he seems irritated. Tessa then goes to her desk, and as soon as she walks in, she's shocked to find it piled with papers and books. Kimberly explains that this is because the interns before her didn't last despite putting in a lot of effort. The boss, Vance, usually fires them after the first day. After that, Kimberly shows Tessa her responsibilities. Tessa is very excited about the job, so she starts cleaning and organizing the desk before diving into her work. She spends the entire day at the office, so much so that she eventually falls asleep while working. Suddenly, she opens her eyes to find the boss standing right in front of her, reading the reports she wrote. He asks her how she managed to finish 3 books in just one day. She tells him that she's really excited about the job and completely lost track of time. Then, he suddenly gets a phone call and asks her to gather her things and come with him. Tessa gets nervous, thinking she's about to be fired, but she soon realizes that she's actually going with them to attend an important conference. Vance asks Kimberly to take her and get her ready, even telling her to pick out an outfit for the event. Kimberly starts helping her get ready, and Tessa expresses how happy she is to be working at the publishing company, saying it's always been her dream. Kimberly then tells her that Hardin had already said they'd be lucky to have Tessa working with them, which surprises her and makes her wonder why he's still involved in her life. Later, they head to the party, where Tessa sits with Trevor, who seems bored. He explains that they have to attend because an investor named Jian is planning to buy the publishing company. Soon, Jian approaches them and offers drinks, and they feel obligated to accept. Tessa ends up drinking too much and gets drunk. She starts dancing with a stranger, bumps into people, and eventually leaves. At the same time, Hardin is at another party with his friends. Molly tries to get close to him and apologize for what she did to Tessa, but he pushes her away, argues with her, and leaves. Suddenly, he gets a call from Tessa. He realizes she's drunk and tries to find out where she is, but she doesn't tell him and hangs up. Then Trevor finds her and tells her he's leaving, so she goes with him. They head to a hotel together, have dinner, and start talking about their lives. Suddenly, Tessa accidentally spills juice on Trevor's clothes, so he takes them off so she can wash them. At that same moment, Hardin shows up. He had been tracking Tessa's location through his phone. He finds her with Trevor, and a fight breaks out between them. After that, he starts arguing with Tessa too, but she suddenly gets close to him and kisses him, and Hardin responds to her. The next morning, Tessa wakes up to a call from Kimberly, telling her to come downstairs in 5 minutes. She then turns to Hardin, and they start arguing. She tells him she wasn't in her right mind and that she still hasn't forgiven him. She makes it clear that she doesn't want him in her life anymore. Trying to provoke her, Hardin says that he's involved with Molly. Tessa gets furious, hits him, and leaves. When she goes downstairs, she runs into Trevor and apologizes for what happened. He tells her that he and Hardin actually know each other, they used to be friends, and Hardin had worked at the same publishing company for a year before, in the same position she has now. Then Vance and Kimberly arrive, and Vance announces that Jian has decided to fund the publishing house because of their efforts, thanking them for their hard work. Later, we see Hardin with Landon. Landon asks him what he's going to do about Tessa, and Hardin tells him everything that happened. Landon gets upset and tells him that if he were in Tessa's place, he wouldn't go back to him, that he really hurt her. They argue, and Hardin tells him he's planning to go to Paris and that he wanted to take Tessa with him. Landon then asks if he truly loves her, and Hardin admits that he has never loved anyone the way he loves Tessa, and that he hopes she can forgive him. Then he leaves. Meanwhile, Tessa is at her office when she receives a message from Landon. He tells her that Hardin came to him and said he loves her, and that there's nothing going on between him and Molly, and that he believes him. This makes Tessa emotional as she reflects on everything. Just then, Trevor walks in, wishes her a happy birthday since it's the next day, and hands her a report with the estimated cost of a used car she could buy, instead of spending all her salary on Uber, since she had complained about that before. Tessa is touched and gives him a hug. The next day, Tessa learns from her friend Landon that Hardin is planning to leave, so she goes to the house they used to share. When she walks in, She finds the place messy, but then she notices a birthday gift he left for her. She gets emotional, starts crying, and reminisces about their time together. Suddenly, she hears the door open. Hardin has come back. She quickly hides, but then hears a woman's voice with him. Curious, she steps out to see who it is, only to discover that it's his mother. Hardin explains that his mom was really excited to meet Tessa, so he didn't want to upset her by telling her they had broken up. When Tessa asks why he didn't travel, he admits that he didn't want to leave without her, so he postponed his trip. He then asks her to pretend they're still together in front of his mother until she leaves, and she agrees. When his mom finds out it's Tessa's birthday, she decides to celebrate it and even makes her a cake. They spend the whole day together, and during that time, Hardin's mother learns that Tessa works at Vance's publishing house. She tells her that she knows him, and that she and Hardin once stayed with him when she separated from Hardin's father. Tessa is surprised, especially since Hardin never mentioned this before. The next day, Tessa travels to visit her mother. As soon as she arrives, she meets Noah and greets him. Suddenly, he brings up her father, but then avoids continuing the conversation. Shortly after, her mother calls, and Tessa asks her about her dad. Her mother tells her that he wanted to see her, but she refused. This leads to an argument between them. Tessa starts thinking about her own situation with Hardin, realizing that she needed to stay away from him because he reminds her of her father. Feeling overwhelmed, she leaves. She then goes back to Hardin, and their relationship improves again. The next day, Hardin tells her that he wants to do everything she wishes for an entire day to make her happy and fulfill all her desires. They go out and spend the whole day together, enjoying their time, until Kimberly calls Tessa and asks for her help to stay with Vance's son because he's sick. Tessa agrees and spends the rest of the day taking care of him. At the end of the day, Hardin gives Tessa a Christmas gift and asks her to forgive him and give him another chance, and she agrees. The next day, they're invited to his father's house. Hardin goes with his mother and Tessa. There, his father keeps talking about Landon and comparing Hardin to him, which frustrates Hardin. He starts drinking, and then his father goes on about his travels and adventures. This makes Hardin snap. He tells him that he has no right to talk about life like that, because he's the one who ruined their family while living happily as if nothing happened. His father responds by saying that he still feels guilty about what happened to Hardin's mother in the past, and that leaving was the only option. But Hardin can't handle what he's hearing and ends up hitting him. His mother is disappointed and upset with him, telling him that he needs to let go of the past and move on with his life, because all that hatred inside him will only destroy him and Tessa along with him. Then she leaves and travels away. The next day, Tessa goes to work while still upset with Hardin. When she arrives, she meets Trevor and tells him everything that happened. She explains that she thought everything was finally fixed between them, but unfortunately, Hardin still has a lot to deal with on his own and it's really affecting her. Trevor asks her if she loves him, and she says yes. He then tells her that in that case, he can't help her. It becomes clear that Trevor had feelings for her and was hoping she didn't love Hardin. He also tells her that he's leaving, as he's been promoted to a new position in the Seattle branch. Later, when she goes home, she finds that Hardin has already apologized to his father and also apologizes to her for everything that happened. He tells her that his friends are throwing a party and invites her to come along, so she suggests they go together. While she's getting ready, Vance calls her and offers her a major position in the Seattle branch, asking her to move there, and he's even okay with Hardin going with her. They then go to the party, and Tessa is happy, spending time with his friends and enjoying the moment. Suddenly, Hardin disappears at the party with one of his female friends, then comes back and continues playing. Molly starts bothering Tessa, reminding her of the bet Hardin had once made about her. Tessa gets furious, argues with her, and ends up hitting her. Hardin steps in, trying to pull her away and calm her down. Then he notices a message on Tessa's phone from Trevor, congratulating her on the new position and saying they'd be working together in Seattle. Hardin gets upset and walks away. Tessa quickly goes after him, but then she sees him standing with the same girl he disappeared with earlier, which makes her think something is going on between them, so she turns to leave. Hardin rushes after her, telling her he's been trying to make things right and that she should trust him and his love for her. But Tessa tells him she no longer trusts him and that she'll never forget what he did to her before. They argue again and end up breaking up. The next day, Tessa tries to reach him, sending messages and apologizing for the fight, but his phone is off. When he finally turns it on and calls her, she's in the car, but her phone falls, so she gets out to pick it up. Suddenly, she gets into an accident. Hardin finds out and tries to reach her, but he can't. Landon shows up and argues with him, refusing to tell him where she is. Then Trevor calls Hardin and tells him that if he really loves Tessa, he should stay away from her, because everything happening to her is because of him, and he only brings pain into her life. Later, Tessa returns from the hospital and finds that Hardin has left the house. He's left her a letter, telling her that he's gone away. He says he loves her deeply and has never loved anyone the way he loves her, but all he ever brings her is pain, so he has to stay away. He also admits that he always expected their relationship wouldn't last forever, and asks her to try to forget him and move on with her life. Tessa keeps trying to reach Hardin, but she can't find him. Meanwhile, he starts having nightmares again, and his life becomes very miserable without her. Still, he decides to continue living his life for her sake. Later, Tessa tells Hardin's mother that Vance is moving the Seattle branch, and that there's a farewell party for him in a few days. His mother tells him that he needs to go after Tessa before it's too late, apologize for what he did, and fight for the things he truly loves. At the party, Tessa is with Trevor, and he tells her that he wants to confess something. He admits that when she was in the hospital, he let his emotions take over and told Hardin to stay away from her and leave her alone. He apologizes for interfering in their relationship. Suddenly, Tessa sees Hardin standing in front of her. She immediately turns and walks away quickly, and Hardin tries to follow her, but her car drives off. Moments later, she is standing behind him. She asks him if he's planning to leave again, and he says he tried, but he couldn't. She walks away, opens her car door, and he gets in with her. They reconcile and get back together, hoping to stay together and finally be happy. But just as they are driving back, someone suddenly appears behind them calling her name. Hardin gets out and fights with the man, but Tessa soon realizes that it is her father. And that's where our movie recap ends. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Goodbye.